How's it, everybody? Another episode from DJ Sladem in my gear. This is Scorpion gear, military gear. But right now, I'm doing something for the Empire. Probably people are telling the truth. There's professionals, apex predator. So I'm not going to talk philosophy. While I'm doing a bit of ancient world, the council, like Gladiator and stuff. A lot of people, they seem to not want to put work on the street. But like the ancient world, a lot of people have mistaken a lot of things. But this is like a concert, something. So we're coming by FREP. Well, FREP is technology, phone tablet, is a whole different scenario. So now we're going to stick to the script, right? So we're talking about the ancient world. So we're coming by FREP, phone tablet. Is a different secret society like the ancient world, Illuminati, the shadow, you know what I mean? Some of us are real gangsters. So this is my kit or my uniform, you know what I mean? In a world that people say doesn't exist. Well, the ancient world is right upon you, but not right now. I'm doing something well, it's supposed to be so intelligent, right? Well, you could do neuroscience, quantum physics. That's separate. Neuroscience and neurology. If only you could start, not at the end. Too many people want to come at the end, but not right now. This is my kit, Scorpion Soldier. Times are late, so we're coming by FREP. For once, it's the first 2 minutes, right? So a lot of people probably, they think they're clever. What did I need a microphone for if I'm the leader, right? So I'm not going to try to choose sides, but not criminals or somebody that's against our secret society. So this is a FREP. This is phone tablet, is Motorola, is the modern world, highly advanced, durable, rugged, and I'm not going to diss anybody. But I guess a lot of people, they don't have the power of the vampire. So that means these things existed. The ancient world is vastly beautiful, you know what I mean? It's got temples, temples of knowledge, temples of wisdom, temples of love, temples of war, opulence, luxury. And like the ancient world, a lot of things were hidden. But the ancient world is where a lot of things are secret, right? So it's not a comedy. But I'm talking about technology as well. How the ancient world is doing neuroscience, which only God can do. So then I guess we've got to be what we are, gangsters, right? Well, I don't need voices in my head. Then I guess what I'm talking about is the ancient world. So in the first 3 minutes, the ancient world had a lot of beautiful things, the life of luxury, opulence, but like counsel. Counsel in the ancient world, if you bother to pay attention in class. But that's because I'm the emperor of Africa. Some people want to be a god, which I guess is a bit funny. Yes, there are temples for gods, Zeus and Greek gods, and also a lot more. In the ancient world, life could have been a lot better, but we're in the first 3 minutes. The ancient world had a lot of marble statues, roads, and a lot of organization. Could be organized rules, but like the ancient world, you've got Moradin bandits. And in the ancient world, I guess these things existed. Too many people want to live in the ancient world, which is upon you, but not at the end. This is a Motorola, is a brand new technology. But what I'm doing is not my job. Is the job of the leader, right? The emperor or something. Well then, just hold on, mate. The ancient world, Alexander the Great, pharaohs, all these things that you study, the Roman Empire is just like television. You've got Gladiator, all of these things, Genghis Khan, Chiang Kai-shek, the Chinese Empire, the Emperor, goblins, Mongols, they come from Russia. That's where it all comes from. The world is gigantic. The world of giant oceans. The ancient world, he knew about his enemy. You know what I mean? This is the thing. You don't want to study where you live. Kauri trees, Maori people, fierce cannibals. If you look South American, then you must be South American. Well, then the ancient world could circumnavigate. That means there's a lot of playtime here. But yeah, this is my gear for a lot of missions I do. Other missions, you know what I mean? People say that vampires don't exist. People say that people are not cheating. Well, that's my decision. So I guess not everybody has the ability of the Black Panther or the vampire, right? So I guess life is extraordinary. Well, in the ancient world, they could envision neuroscience, quantum physics, biomechanics, and a whole lot of things that you need to come to council. Like the ancient world, you know what I mean? It's all about the territory. So I'm not going to stop because too many people stop before it's too late, right? At the end. The end is when you're now in the cartoon world, you know what I mean? When you're now trying to face a organized enemy. Well, that's the first 5 minutes. So with technology, I guess it all comes from the world and Hollywood, which there must be some sort of reason, right? Or possibly it's an apex predator. It's a whole different thing. But what I'm talking about is my job. I'm supposed to be a gangster, right? Well, some people are wimps, or they could be telling the truth, right? So yeah, I know I got my bag. You know what I mean? Which is all about trying to have the numbers, right? Gang numbers. You know what I mean? They think it's a blood bandana, but I'm not dropping names. This is about the ancient world. How people think when you go to sleep, it doesn't exist. Well, then what is death? Death is inevitable. I've died already. Well, the way I see it, I don't want to. I'm about the money, right? Too many people, they want to come at the end. Well, because you've got your episodes, but not right now. This is just something for the empire. Well, the empire needs a social life. But like council in the empire, the ancient world, Alexander the Great, all of these things, Genghis Khan, all these things you envision is only possible with gold, which I guess is a bit funny. But maybe a modern army can never face somebody that's organized, somebody with technology. It's always going to beat the modern world. The world is all we have. So I'll just show you what a vampire can do, which I guess people think they don't exist. Which I guess there's a time for comedy, a time to laugh. But like the ancient world, you need to be organized, prepared, and you can't have our technology. While the world is all we have. Something was hidden in the ancient world. And it's not because I want to. Well, this is my kit, Scorpion Soldier, you know what I mean? It's the kit of the thing. Why would I need a microphone? If the ancient world is relying on mankind's monkey technology, then I guess you've got hyenas, jackals, scavengers, like the ancient world, marauding bandits, you know what I mean? People that are careless with life, that they don't realize the ancient world is upon you. So I guess it's my kit, my uniform. You know what a chopper is. High powered machine gun, high caliber. Easily go through the vest of the police. Easily the biker gangs of the future. No problem. But what I'm talking about is like the ancient world. You know, too many people they sort of neglect. But I'm not gonna try to school you. But I guess it's like high school. You've got a bully and stuff. But that's another life. What I'm talking about is also English lecture, a bit of medicine, right? Have you ever let your blood circulate? Have you ever smoked marijuana? So why are you watching episodes if it doesn't exist? Some people hear voices, right? Well, that's a subliminal message. Too many people try to stop and not try to do something significant, like pay your debts off. Like the ancient world, you've got markets that sell spice. Easily, the spice empire will take over the known world, conquer India. Like Alexander the Great, pharaohs, Aztec empire, cannibals, you know what I mean? They all stem from somewhere. Maori people, they brought the kauri tree. So I'm going to cheat a bit. Or is that cheating, right? If you don't bother to know where you live. So then I guess we're in the first 10 minutes, right? So the next 30 minutes should be easy. So I'll take off my kit for once, which I'm not going to bother losing, not at the end. Too many people, they try to focus on the negative, right? Without trying to be simple. Michelangelo, Leonardo, all of these things you dream about, Van Gogh. Well, I travel the world. Every day I'm on an aeroplane. That's my decision. Well, then I guess you've got every excuse, but not right now. So what I'm talking about is like Pandora's box, the Antichrist, opening like you've got Pandora's box, you've got all of these things that people say don't exist, Tanifas, werewolves, is a whole nother episode, but that is the first 10 minutes of your life, which you've got neuroscience, quantum physics, only if you study this, but not right now. So about 400,000 years ago, the Spice Empire, it ruled the known world. Well, because a modern army has probably failed. But like the steppes in Russia, that's where goblins come from. Instead of trying to worry about what you don't have, it's like the ancient world. Make some sort of spice empire and sell something spice, like it's got to have that magic. Well, then I guess there's no stomach to laugh about. Too many people think death is the end. So did the pharaohs. So do a lot of people, Napoleon, the Portuguese. A lot of people think death is the end. That humans grow on trees. You know what I mean? That a woman is not beautiful. So I guess if it's an empire, then it must have some sort of council, right? Well, then you shouldn't be missing council. Then, of course, you'll find a world with technology. Like this, you know what I mean? A world where you've got technology. Easily, you have an opportunity to be a criminal or something. Well, then I guess let's not go for Star Wars. It's a subliminal message. But we're not going to try to be racist. But of course, with technology, it's a strategic weapon. Easily, you can outsmart the government. But this is like council, like the ancient world. If you bother to smoke a bit of joint, not at the end. Too many people at the end want to try to be clever, you know what I mean? Without the kit, you know what I mean? $400,000 vest. Then I guess you call them elite. How can you be elite if you've got one life? Well, then I guess I'm not going to drop any names. But astonishing for some people, I guess, a circus, right? Well, then this is more than a council. Well, I'm on the shadow volume. Well, that proves it's reading your mind. Well, that has to stop. But like the ancient world, you've got close relatives to the modern world. But with technology, it is a bit funny. Easily you outsmart everyone. But I guess tobacco is not original. Neither is sugar. Sugar and all these things, women, or the world. The world is gigantic. So life is important. So how can you have one life? Well, I've died already. Well, all around the world, right? Top to bottom of Aotearoa. It's got a history with Africans and Jamaica and Thailand. Something that maybe Europeans estimated and put on a map is not going to work with the technology that we have. Neuroscience is like something that only God can do. So now we're in the first 13 minutes. Well, then I have to finish this. Well, then we need something for prisoners, something for the gangsters. Well, then a gangster is supposed to have territory, right? Well, it's supposed to be funny. Well, that's not funny. Well, what I'm talking about is probably hidden away or something, which is like the ancient world. If you can hide away all of these criminals, then you don't mind if I do something significant, like something for our secret society. But in the ancient world, all of these things, like a market, they seem stupid, but it's not. It could make all the difference in the end. Well, not at the end, when times are good. Well, when times are good, then I guess it's like the ancient world. Then I guess these things exist. A vampire, werewolves, and goblins. But I guess, you know, people think too much of gold and treasure, money and stuff. Only works if you have money. Well, then the ancient world has probably lied to us. But now we're talking about something else. We're talking about tobacco, cocaine, heroin, and stuff. How it's not original. All these things you think you talk about, right? Do they seem like they exist or it doesn't exist? Well, how can it exist if you're not drinking 1,000% meth? Well, some of us are real gangsters, but not right now. We're just trying to do something for the empire because for once, people have seen 15 minutes is finally done. That's eternity. Easily, the ancient world will take over India, Europe, the whole world, and places you don't think about. The world has been dormant, like some Brazilian girl that's waiting to be fucked. You know what I mean? Which, if you listen, is a bit of an English lecture, is a bit of technology exchange. You don't come to council at the end. Then obviously you'll find medicine has changed, which I guess too many people depend on DJ Sladem. Like DJ Sladem's not the emperor around here. So I guess I've got to brown nose a bit. Life is beautiful. It has to be. Instead of trying to worry about philosophy, try to worry about an apex predator. Is a whole different thing. These things easily could hide in front of you while you've got so many criminals, right? So, what would you think it's better to do? Something that you don't understand or rely on your own technology. But this is halfway, right? Well, not so easy, right? That's easy for me. I'm the Black Panther, leader of Africa. They have to listen. It's a popular day, not at the end. But like the ancient world, I guess you've seen what we call an ambush, like soldiers in Vietnam or soldiers in Afghanistan. You know what I mean? That's an ambush. That's allowed. So I guess in the council, if you miss council, then you've got to make rules. But now we're talking about Napoleon, Portuguese pirates and stuff. They've tried to take over this island. You're wrong. It's a continent island. It's the Arctic Polynesia, which I guess too many people are astonished, right? That the shadow's taking over. Which I guess you've got all sorts of things in the world. Tobacco, all of these things is all we have. While there's no stomach. People are talking about something that's thousands of years ago. Is the world ready for technology? Which I guess technology is sort of like this. You've got all of these gods, gods of wisdom, gods of nonsense, gods of bullshit, but not anymore. Which I guess too many people are expecting DJ Sladem not to have blood on his hands, or not to have the ability to travel through time or something. What's the point of being a god? If you're going to tear down the empire, then I guess it's party time. But like the ancient world, you need to know when to cut it off. Cut off the alcohol, cut off the nonsense, try to put some work on the street. That's a whole different empire. Because the ancient world had unity. Unity with dinosaurs. Unity even in World War II. But I don't sell that to anybody. Well, unless you're expecting to be beating a $900 trillion business a day, is economics. Economics is different with physics, which I got A's for every subject. But I'm not talking about myself. Too many people want to talk about themselves. Well, now we reach the 18 minutes. For the first time in your life, you've come to council, which is like the ancient world. It's all about the territory. It's not about the end, which I guess if it's a bad place, I guess with the mind, you can create something from the ancient world, which means you need to be vigilant. You need to pay attention. That perhaps maybe you're missing counsel, right? Well, that's 20 minutes is a bit of medicine, just in case the police come here. That means they've got a history with Africans. So if you've got dark skin, that means you've got a history with Africans. Too many people, they don't know where they live. Live in a fierce, beautiful island, which is a continent island. And a lot of people get lost, find yourself dead, or you find yourself tangling with the biker gang of the future, which is my kit. It's just a thing. People are expecting you to stand for criminals. All of these people is called a spider web. A spider is not so original. But I guess these things on television are probably sending another type of message. So I guess death is because you've chosen reality. If you choose reality, surely you will die, mate. If you mess in with DJ Sladem or those sort of people, then you'll be back to the spice market, which I guess is all about precision, planning, execution. Is a whole different lecture. This is something for the weekend, not philosophy. The slums of India is something that I've decided to cut off. If I'm on an aeroplane every day and you're coming to council at the end, Well, that's a whole different procedure. But then I guess they're professionals, right? Well, if they're professionals, it could be an apex predator. Too many people are forgetting that neuroscience is a thief, right? Is ripping your brain. Well, with neuroscience, you've got to be careful. You could wake up naked on the street, but not right now. How can I have evil on my presence? So you're not supposed to spoil the game, right? Well, then I guess it's 20 minutes, right? So you're like us, a vampire, or it's professionals, right? So then I guess you're like us, a vampire, right? So that means you're on the top of the Aztec calendar. So you're worried about something only a ghost can do. So now you need protection. So then I guess it's a lesson to the enemy, right? Which I guess you can change. You can say, but I'm talking about the modern world. And I'm talking about how the ancient world has hidden something. Vampires, goblins, something's an apex predator. Is too dangerous to try to spend too much time. But also, don't be afraid of the cemetery. Death is the beginning. But don't be too greedy either. This is called Vietnamese warfare, from trench to trench or from waddy field to waddy field, which is a whole different military campaign. But what I'm talking about is technology. Robotech easily can be built right here in this world. If somebody is trying to be the leader, then there's no stomach to laugh at. But that could be a demon or some sort of ulterior motive. Well, you've seen that the world is one sided, is not so stupid. But what I'm saying is, in the nick of time, people have probably decided 3 billion people are gone. And maybe perhaps it's overpopulated. Well, not at the end. The end is when you're asking too much. The end is like asking Maori people to choose between the big business or some little biker gang that's not expecting high powered machine guns is a different type of thing. At the end, probably 1000% myth. Well, my hands are not innocent. But what I'm talking about is something else. You're doing something which I guess this thing is entering your mind that has to stop. Well, then obviously it's clouded your vision. Well, I don't blame you. But I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm saying I'm guilty. Guilty of things that are not allowed. So, like the ancient world, right? You've got all your kit and gear, right? Well, then professionals come with all of these weapons, which I guess too many people are afraid. Well, then if it's a tinny house, open the tinny house. Well, then what other business do we have? Which is economics, which is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the lockdown. Robotech and all of these things easily done. If you give people 48 hours, that's a major significant thing in your life. So you shouldn't be missing council. Council is like the government, but only better. You can make a lot of changes in the world. Like you can dupe the government. You can hold hostage people and a lot of things. Life is beautiful, right? Well, I got children, I've got people. So obviously you've confronted one of these tsotsis, criminals, etc., etc. Well, this is the end of the lecture, which is a bit of like counsel because you've got the hidden world, and then I guess a lot of people are afraid of the cemetery. Well, you'll surely die if you mess with the shadow. You'll surely die if you mess with us. But that's all right. I guess it's all about trying to be available. But this is like the ancient world. If you bother to go to the cinemas, if you bother to watch Aquaman or Dune, I guess in Dune 3, it doesn't exist. Well, that's my job. Or what people assume. Well, assumption only works as far as you can spit. Too many people think it's not going to affect everyone. Well, then maybe you need to pull up your socks. Well, there's no stomach. Well, then that must be a filter. But with technology, not many people are gonna beat the world. The world is an apex predator. If they were, well, I'm not going anywhere. But easily people are going to join the shadow of Hitler, shadow of the Reich, shadow of the Zulu, shadow of a lot of things. There's unity, time to be serious, time to be joking, but it's not a comedy. But I guess you strike on the opportunity, right? Which is a metaphor, not philosophy. Because the ancient world is like television. Well, that's from a painting. It all comes from somewhere that you need to look after. Well, not at the end. The end is when you're sort of like an African with no stomach, with all the technology, but no follow through. But now we've reached the 25-minute mark, which is for prisoners. And the very government has probably found themselves in a quagmire, a swamp, where you're back to World Bank. And those sort of things all over the world, all over the universe. Well, if you're going to choose reality, don't ever choose reality. Because reality can end up a cartoon world. And in a cartoon world, only God can do that. But with this, you're not God. Why would you want to be a God when you can be the emperor? You can make all the decisions, not at the end. The end is when the ops are gone. The end is just a slice of cake. Well, too many people have been robbed, which I guess is an ambush, right? Well, of course I love my people, but you can't always apologize. Apologizing doesn't make a difference. So I guess it's a lesson to people that are not putting work on the street, or to people that don't understand the empire. Seems easy, right? But now we're on the 27 mark, so it's not a module. It's more like a currency, in case you try that again, which I guess is a ship, right? So you want to be at the top. Well, that's how simple it is. But with this technology, you can't be greedy. Step by step in the waddy fields of Vietnam, the world is all we have. You're going to have to try to do something significant before you mess it with the apex predator. While something that's outer space doesn't breathe oxygen, is all right, unless you want us to march you into the ocean, which possibly there was something hidden. But this is the modern world with technology. How you've got all these Transformers and Star Wars is not allowed. Because I guess, like Star Wars, you've got the Sith, right? And the light side of the Force. I'm guilty. I'm never joining the government. The government has to join me. But like pirates, you're doing a leg. Sure, bro. Comes from pirates. So they could have circumnavigated while I pounce on the opportunity, which I guess is for prisoners, the police, and technology, right? So then I guess the mind is a portal into somewhere where you've got to sort of like have the power of a vampire, which I guess, do you be the gangster or do you be something else? But this is like counsel in the ancient world, but not what you study. Play this when somebody's going to try to be a gangster. Surely you'll be dead, mate. Trying to think there's a stomach or any of these excuses can only work in a logical world, a world without professionals. Well, professionals is the name of the business, right? But this is not a comedy. Time to laugh, time to listen, and time to open up the armory where you've got not the Matrix. The Matrix is too basic. But that's like my time in Afghanistan, how I climbed up the ladder. Well, too many people were expecting me to get animals vaccine, which I guess is 30 minutes. But I guess if you're going to do something, then don't choose reality. Because in reality, you're going to die, right? You have to work. Well, my job, I'm not innocent. My job is like the mafia. Well, something decent. apex predator, not the government. This is the last time I joined the government. But at the end, not at the end, which I guess is a lesson to criminals. At the end, is like an ambush or something, where too many people are not organized. They don't learn English. Some are criminals. What I've decided, where's my house? But neuroscience, if you could have the follow through, but you need to learn at the end. The end is when you've got jackals, hyenas, and everything that comes with technology. So instead of trying to be too greedy, you've got to sort of try to pounce, but not at the end. But I guess that's another 30 minutes about technology, like Gundam Wing, Robotech seems hard to build. Yeah, but not for everyone. But with technology, I blur out those type of people. With the technology, it's a long time ago. Perhaps maybe you get disappointed. You'll find mass graves and um, a whole lot of things is allowed, which I guess is all about listening. Easily, India could have a nice place. Easily, Africa could listen, but not in a one sided world, not at the end. But that's another lecture on medicine, witchcraft, and how trying to be a rich person doesn't work. So instead of trying to talk about yourself, try to think about maybe this thing exists, is an apex predator, which I guess is a creation from um, a past fundamental. Instead of blaming the government, try to do something substantial, like your job, pay your debts off, is a whole different currency. Bitcoin and all these things only work if you don't mess with the emperor, right? Which is like the ancient world. But I'm also talking about technology. How neuroscience, easily, India could be dangerous if they weren't coloreds. Hey, too many people want to go for Africans, but they don't realize the emperor of Africa is here, which is a whole nother lecture. You've got two eyes, so I guess it's like high school. The bully is trying to bully Russia, is trying to bully the world. Well, that's all right. Don't miscounsel. Ancient Rome, pharaohs, all these things you talk about seem stupid until you in the swamp, in the battle of your life with professionals. Didn't I tell you? Dangerous. Well, don't be asking me. I got children to look after, an empire, and trillions of dollars that instead of trying to be a god, be something else. Be attentive. Pay attention. Well, that's the end of counsel. Counsel in the ancient world is similar to the life of opulence. With the mind, easily mutants exist. But with the mouth, it will never come out. Not with $900 trillion. Then all the ops or those type of people were asking for it. But you want me to say something nice? I'm going to say that's the end of counsel, not at the end. At the end is done and dusted. I can only be what I am, but not right now. Patience, step by step. Don't choose reality. This will teach you a lot of medicine and simple things. And that's another thing about technology. Robotech and those things is like a video, but not for those people. We want the best of the world. Let's not be too rash. But just like that, $900 trillion. What's my job? The spice market. We've only got one product, but that's it. That's over. Step by step in the Russia front. Well, this is the modern world. And just like that, the spice market has taken over. At the end, you've got to be careful. An English lecture, technology, and also your own medicine. Counsel in the ancient world.